We're back to the Total Education Celebrity Show on the Total Education Network. Again, TotalTutor.net for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neil Haley, Instagram, Total Tutor, and also you can check me out at Pinterest, Neil Haley. And I'm so excited to welcome the program 2009 Pro Bowler, NFL player, David Garrard. David, thanks for calling, and I'm excited to talk about life after football. Even though your football career is not over yet, you're already thinking about it. So I appreciate you calling.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
So tell us your background in a lot of ways, because again, people sometimes, they think you played for the New York Jets last year and stuff like that, but forget about you had a really good career with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So tell us a little bit about that before we get to the interview.
Yeah, I was drafted in 2002, which seems like ages ago, and I had a great career. I think with Jacksonville, our family still is calling Jacksonville home. Had a great coach in Jack Del Rio at the time. I was actually drafted by Tom Coughlin. So I've been around some pretty good coaches, and I've been around some pretty good players. Maurice Jones-Drew, a great teammate of mine, a great friend as well. Just guys like that. And this fan base here, the team, has really been a blessing to me and my family. So I'm proud to, still be able to represent just a little bit the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I am also thankful for the New York Jets for giving me an opportunity last year to be able to come on board. And right now, just a little bit of limbo. I don't really have a team at this point in time, but I do have one team, and that's Retro Fitness. That's my new team right now.
Oh, absolutely. So let's talk about one of the things that's really shocking, and this is what got you thinking during your career, that 78% of NFL players are in financial trouble 2 years after they retire. I mean, that's really something that you think the money you guys are getting compared to the 80s, when I had players on that, they had full-time jobs, or 70s where they'd have a summer job and they would be working 2 jobs, and then with the money being so good, how's this happening, David?
It is really sad, and I can say exactly why it's happened. You're a young man. Most of us probably came from very little money, and all of a sudden we are wealthy people, multimillionaires, and we just don't have any education on how to spend, how to save. We're not taught how to be patient for things. We're not taught that there's a life after football. And we think it's the here and now. We think we're getting all this money that we can spend at that level, and we can spend at such a high level, and you get really caught up in it. And then me and a couple of my ex-teammates, we call it monopoly money, because it really seems like it. You get so much, and you honestly, you don't have a clue on what to do, how to save, and you start buying things just because that's what you think you're supposed to do. You buy your house, a couple cars, you're paying off loans, you're paying for family members. You're trying to live at such a level that's not sustainable, and that's what happens. That is the biggest thing, is guys, when they're done playing, they don't know how to go down to a level of spending that they can sustain until, their death, basically. And so it really happens really fast when you still continue to spend, and you're done, and you think you're still an NFL player, you think you're still in the league, and you think those checks are going to keep coming in, but when they stop, and there's no more money coming in, but yet you've got caught up in such a spending rate that you don't know how to get away from it. You don't know how to not go to fancy restaurants every other night. You don't know how to go to just a nice, happy vacation somewhere where maybe you're not staying at the best hotel in that city and in the best room. All those things that a lot of players have a hard time understanding, have a hard time coming off that high. They just continue to try to stay at that level, even though the checks aren't coming in. And I think a lot of that makes guys happy. It makes them continue to feel like, hey, I'm the man, even though I'm not playing anymore, I can still stay at the nicest places. I can still take all my friends out to eat. I can still go on the best vacations with all my friends, with family members, and pay for all of it.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it does all come to an end, and guys, just can't maintain it.
And that's interesting that you talk about that again, they don't know how to manage their money. They don't understand that at one point it's going to disappear. And even if you have millions and millions and millions of dollars, that can be really, you could spend that very quickly, especially if you're paying for people's meals. And then another thing they run into is they get involved with investing in businesses that they really can't trust that person. That person's just looking at them as a cash cow, and once that money's run out, they're gone. Who are you? I don't know who you are. So there's definitely got to be a lot more to this. Leonard Marshall spoke about this. I had Leonard on a couple weeks ago, and he talked about specifically enough that, again, the insurance is another issue, that your body's beat up. You have a certain amount of money, then you have to get insurance, you have to go through all this stuff, and you have to go try to find a job. And sometimes the guys would rather say, I'm just going to live off the money, and I don't want to work. And then you find out that you better, if you're investing in it or stuff like that, the market could crash. So there's so many different things to think about, David. So how did you kind of say, I have to start thinking about this before my career is over? What was that aha moment to say, I'm going to do that?
You know what? I had dinner with my pastor and his wife one night. My wife and his wife went out, and he has actually dealt with guys like Mark Brunell. He's also dealt with Tony Baselli and a few other Jaguar guys here in town. And just going off of their experiences, he kind of laid it out for me in that dinner, saying, you need to be able to have something to do when you're done. Because as a man, you can't just sit at home, with your wife at the house and thinking, well, I'm just going to live off all the money that I have. And first of all, that's going to drive you and your wife crazy because you're at home every day and she's not going to be used to that and you're not going to be used to that. And so that makes tension in the house. But then as a man, you need to have somewhere to go. Your kids need to see you going somewhere. Maybe not each day, but they know that Daddy is not a football player now. Daddy is now X. If that's going back to school to get your degree or whatever it is, then now Daddy is a student at school and he is getting his degree. Or Daddy is a businessman. Now Daddy owns a business or he's working for a big company. Whatever it is, he said, you need to be doing something, not just sitting around the house. And so I thought about that, and I thought, you know what? I don't want to just live off my savings and watch it dwindle down. I want to be able to pass some on to my kids to be able to help them out in life. And so I just thought, you know what? I know that I need to do something that gets me out of the house, that has me busy, being able to say that this is what I do now. I'm not a football player anymore, but now I am a businessman. I own businesses. And so I just thought that was a great thing. And it was also a great thing because the business that I am going to be running and owning is a fitness gym. And I've been in fitness my whole life pretty much. So I know that side of things. Now, I did not know how to run a gym, but I knew how to, I knew what gyms should look like and how they should operate, how they should feel. And with the guys at Retro Fitness, they give you the game plan. And then as players, we execute the game plan. We execute the playbook. And we don't have to try to reinvent things. We can just execute exactly what they have. And we know that it will work because they've done it successfully over a long time now.
We're talking to David Garrard, 2009 Pro Bowler and former Jacksonville Jaguars standout and also New York Jet. And we're having a great conversation about life after football and a way of planning and coming up with things. So you look at this business opportunity. The difference is by buying into a business opportunity like this, they do a lot of the help in the marketing. They already have a brand. It's just up to you to go out and implement their strategies, it sounds like, David.
Absolutely. That's what I was just trying to explain before, where they have the playbook. They have it all written out. And as athletes, we've always followed the game plan. We've always followed the playbook. And that's what we do best. And so that's why my team and I, my financial team, my wife, we thought, it would be great to get into a franchise. Not necessarily a food franchise for us, because in a food franchise, you have to be there constantly.
Yes.
A lot of things can go wrong. So I still wanted to be able to have a little bit of free time with my life. Well, with a gym, people come in and sweat and do all the work themselves. So I don't have to be there micromanaging everything, but I do have to be around. I do have to show up and make sure things are running smoothly. But then if I do want to leave and go get a tea time, or if I know the gym is still going to be running itself, and that as long as we have a good manager and a good team of trainers, then I know things will be fine. And I know that as long as we follow that playbook, that game plan, that the gym will be successful. Like I said, they have hundreds of gyms, and we can just look at all the numbers and see that if you do what you're supposed to do, the gym will be successful.
So what separates them as a gym compared to their competitors?
Yeah, well, the best thing about our gym is you get all the great quality at a affordable price. You have all the top-end machines. You have great space. You have great customer care. But then you get it at a very, very good price. It's a $20 a month gym, and a lot of times you can't beat that. So people that want to get a high-end feel but maybe don't have high-end dollars, well, they can get it at our gym. And so we kind of cater to both sides. People that have the money and they want to be somewhere nice, they get it at our gym. And people that don't quite have the money, so they may have to go somewhere else that maybe the gym quality isn't all that great, but yet they're still getting a chance to work out. But now they can come into a retro fitness and feel like, wow, we get all this for this amount. And it's shown that, it works. And so that is what kind of separates us. We're not the big box. We don't have the basketball gym and the pool. They've found that not a lot of people buy into gyms for those things, just select people. But the people want quality at an affordable price.
Now, David, as now changing teams, maybe still being a football player, but also as an entrepreneur, how do you kind of make that transition? I mean, you're a leader as a quarterback. Now you have to be a leader with another type of team. So what strategies are you trying to come up with to make sure that you're ready for this opportunity? You're ready to take this on by the horns and have a great entrepreneurial opportunity with this organization?
Yeah, well, I think just being an NFL quarterback, being a quarterback most of my life, I realize that I have the ability to lead people. But I know with being a leader, you have to have great teammates. And my financial advisor, my wife, the people that we were working with through Retro Fitness, I know that they have my back and I have their back. So it's not just about me doing it, but when it comes to hearing a voice, I know that I'm going to get the right message across because I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen to what people are saying to me. I'm going to listen to people who have more information than I do, and I'm going to apply that to my business practice. I'm not just going to go in blindly thinking, well, I know everything, so everybody listen to me. I'm going to listen to those who have done it before. I'm going to talk to other business owners, see what their strategies are, and take little pieces from everyone and try to implement that into my business, and hopefully that will work. But I just know that I will do everything possible to make my business a success.
You're being a sponge, just like when you were a rookie quarterback or in college as a freshman, you said to yourself, I'm going to learn from the best. I'm going to surround myself with the right people and make sure that that's going to lead me to the success I need to have. And like you said, as a business owner, you have the opportunity to still have a life. And when you're right, when you're in the fast food business or a restaurant business, forget about it. You're there 24/7, 7 days a week if you want to make money. But when you're in a business like
Absolutely.
this, it has all the different nuances. It's great. And I think also, David, your experience with your foundation, which I want to talk about now, is another reason why that you were able to go ahead and be an entrepreneur, because you had a foundation. You understand that a foundation is a business in so many aspects. And through running the David Garrard Foundation, you've understood the nuances of that's led you to transition as well into this entrepreneur opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. The David Garrard Foundation it has been great for me. It is something that I actually wanted to start for my mother. My mother died of breast cancer, and I wanted to be able to do something for her legacy. Her name was Shirley Garrard, and she did everything possible for me and my two older brothers and my younger sister. She was a single mom, and right up to the end, she was taking care of us as much as she could and did everything for us as often as she could. And she was just a great lady herself. She was a nurse at the VA hospital, so she was a very helpful person, a person that cared and was very giving. And I just thought, what can I do to help keep her name alive, and then also just help others who are going through some of these same circumstances that she went through, and that their family members are going through, just like I did and my siblings did. So I wanted to do something for, and the David Garrard Foundation, it supports breast cancer, especially single moms with breast cancer. We do a lot of events for them. We actually have our fishing tournament coming up May 17th. It's Fishing for the Cure. And it's a fishing tournament. I love fishing, so it's a fishing tournament that raises money for breast cancer and Crohn's and colitis. That's also part of my foundation. I have Crohn's, and I have gone around the country speaking to little kids that are struck with Crohn's or colitis, just like me. And they love being able to see a strong person standing in front of them, healthy, active, giving them some inspiration. I believe the Lord blessed me with that disease so that I could be an inspiration to a lot of kids and a lot of adults, because it's a disease that it's terrible to have, and it makes you very weak, and you lose a lot of weight, and you're not able to be an active person like you like to be if the disease is still affecting your body. And so there are a lot of kids that look at me, they hear my story, and they say, I know now that I can do whatever I want. I know that I could beat this disease if I just keep fighting, because David Garrard is playing in the NFL, and he has the same disease that I have. And so that gives a lot of kids a lot of hope and a lot of courage to be able to move forward. And so my foundation, we've been doing a lot of great things. We have a golf tournament. We have a football camp that I do back in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina. And so I try to do something in all the places that I know my name carries any kind of weight. Here in Jacksonville, I have a golf tournament back in Greenville, North Carolina, where I went to school at East Carolina University, and then also back in Durham, where I was raised. And so I try to do something in all places to be able to help communities in all three areas.
So you're used to the organization, you're used to all the different things, so there goes the entrepreneurial opportunity and saying, hey, I can take this and understand this, because running a foundation and having your own foundation is not the easiest thing in the world. That's for sure.
No, it's not.
And so, David, so far working with Retro Fitness, how long have you had your gym for? Is that started yet, or are you getting ready to launch it?
I'm glad you asked me that question. We just signed the documents, the contract for our first gym yesterday. I sent the paperwork off. I sent that big check for the first month's rent and the deposit yesterday. So we have our space now, and usually about 90 days later is when the gym opens. So at least we're going to be breaking, not really ground, but they're going to actually start the construction work once we pick out our construction company, and then we can really get things going. I'm just super pumped. We're actually, my wife and I and my financial advisor, we're going to take a tour of about 3 or 4 different retros that are already up and running. We're going to go up to Lee Baden, up in, I think, the Delaware area. and check his out because his is up and running. We're going to look at his. We're going to go. There's one in Florida, and there's a bunch in New Jersey and New York. So we're going to go take a little tour and just kind of pick all these guys' brains and see what they're doing, see what works, see what doesn't work, because that's the thing. When somebody's already running that business, you can actually talk to them, and they'll help you because they want the business to keep growing. That just brings more and more people to their doors when the brand grows more and more, and so they want all the businesses to do well, so they'll help us as much as possible.
Perfect, David. Where can we find information on you to learn more about yourself and also your foundation and Retro Fitness?
Yeah, I would go to retrofitness.com to find out about the retro fitness type stuff. DavidGarrard.org is where DavidGarrardFoundation.org is where you can go check up on my foundation and see all the fun things that are going on there, and actually have DavidGarrard.com if you want to go there. And that's my own personal little website that kind of keeps everybody up to date on what's going on.
All right, well, David, best of luck, and we'll keep our ears open to hear if you're going to be in the NFL in 2014, or will you be close to retiring, or who knows? We'll just have to keep up to date, and I'll have you back on the show to let me know what's going on. But really enjoyed the conversation. You're doing some great things, and best of luck in your entrepreneurial ventures, and keep that foundation going. And any way you need help, please give me a call. So good talking to you.
All right. Thank you, sir. It was a lot of fun.
All right. Take care, David. It was so far. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're listening to Total Education, celebrity show on the Total Education Network, and we'll be back in just a moment.